All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Yogi Plant. So today we're going to be working with, obviously, your block. We usually use a block to some extent. And we're going to start by sitting on it. If you have a strap handy, it would be great, or a long sock or something like that. And of course, I have my bolster out like I always do. So, as always, you're welcome to use your bolster in Shavasana. So we're going to start in Sukhasana. So if you want to come into a cross-legged position, you feel free to take like a half lotus or full lotus if you like. We're just going to start with some mindful breath. So you might want to start tonight just by inhaling through your nose and then letting it all out your mouth. And if you like, you can do it with me one more time. And then I invite you to just start to evenly breathe in and out of your nose, pausing at the top of your breath and then pausing at the bottom. And as you're coming into your yoga breath tonight, I invite you to bring your awareness and your mindfulness to the mat, to our space together tonight, and to our shared yoga practice. And as you're exhaling, maybe just bringing in your lower abdominal region a little closer to your spine. That's yoga talk for just tucking in your lower tummy a little bit. Activating that Uddiyana Bandha. And I invite you to bring your awareness to your lower pelvic area, your pelvic floor. Activating your Mula Bandha, which is kind of like doing a Kegel. Well, it's very much so like doing a Kegel. Then we're just going to bring our chin down towards our chest. Doesn't have to touch it, just lowering it down. Activating your Jalahara Bandha. And then I invite you to do all three at the same time. So Mula Bandha, which is a Kegel. And as you're exhaling, drawing in your lower tummy, activating that Uddiyana Bandha. And then just allowing your chin to come towards your chest. No need to force anything. And last but not least, if you're okay with it, just flipping your palms over so they're facing up and touching your forefinger and your thumb together. can release your bandhas if you haven't already done so. But during your yoga practice tonight, I invite you to come back to those bandhas when you're looking for strength and stability. So those are your energy locks within your core area. And as we find ourselves in Sukhasana, we're sitting up tall. We're dropping our shoulders down our back. We're continuing with our yoga breath as we open up our collarbone towards the ceiling. And on your next exhale, I invite you to turn your head to the right. If you like, you can drop your hands down on either side behind your thighs. And if you're feeling okay here, on your next exhale, just looking down towards the right side of your mat. Breathing up along the left-hand side of your neck, breathing into the muscles. And inhaling, coming to face forward. Exhaling, turning your face to the left. And if that feels okay, as you exhale, just looking down to the left-hand side of your mat. Breathing into that right-hand side of your neck. And on an inhale, we'll look forward. On an exhale, we'll look down. Now, this time, dropping your chin, maybe even a little further down towards your chest. Breathing up into the back of your neck. Remembering to keep your shoulders dropping down your back. And on an inhale, we'll come to center. And then continuing up, moving up towards, looking up towards the ceiling. And on an exhale, we'll look to center. Now I invite you, as you inhale, to draw your navel in. We're going to take our left hand, put it on our right knee, right hand behind us, and we're going to twist through our navel to our right hand side as we exhale. Inhaling, coming back to center. And releasing on an exhale. Same thing on the other side. As we inhale, drawing our navel in. Right hand to left knee, left behind us. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to our left. And as we inhale, coming to center. Exhaling, releasing. All right, so we're going to work on our feet today. So I invite you to come to your knees. I'll turn sideways so you guys can see me. So you're going to tuck your toes under. That feels okay. Sitting up on your feet. If you have your strap handy, You can grab that. If you don't have a strap, you can also do eagle shoulders here, eagle arms. So if you have your strap, we're going to do some shoulder openers here. So we're going to just stretch our strap out as like this. And then we're going to, as we're breathing, we're inhaling our shoulder strap up, and exhaling, letting our hands fall down behind our back. Inhaling up, and exhaling, bringing it to the front. So you can do that a couple times on your own. You don't really have to follow your breath here. Just going at your own speed. And the next time your hands are in front, I invite you to just put your hands on your mat, release your feet, kick them, and then we're going to let our feet, the tops of our feet, fall on our mat, and then we're going to sit on our heels, so the tops of our feet are pushing into our mat. And we're going to do the same thing. So if you're doing eagle arms, you can switch sides. If you're doing strap, same thing. You don't have to follow your yoga breath here. Just continue to breathe, moving your arms to the front and then up and to the back. It's really important, especially during the cold weather, to work through your shoulders here, because we tend to hunch over. Hey, when we're cold, we're like, oh God, it's so cold. So we want to keep our bodies warm. So this is a nice way, now that it's warming up even, and to warm up ourselves. And when your hands are back at the front, you can push down on your mat, kick your feet. Yay. All right, I'm going to turn back to face you guys now. And we're going to stay on our knees. Put my strap down. So I invite you to take your right foot and put it out to your right hand side. Your right hand can slide down your leg if you like. We're going to inhale our left hand up, palm facing the right. We're going to move into gate here, pointing our left hand towards the right. And you can be looking forward or up to the ceiling. Reaching through that left hand to the right hand side. Maintaining your weight on your left knee there. And on an inhale, we're going to come up. And on an exhale, we're going to put our hand down. And we're going to inhale our right hand up now. Once again, you can be looking forward up to the ceiling, coming into a grounded side plank. Continuing to breathe through your nose here. And on an inhale, we'll come up. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, sticking our left foot out. Left hand can go along the side here, inhaling our right hand up. And on an exhale, we're going to reach to our left hand side. Maybe sliding a little further down your leg if you feel comfortable. It's always nice to challenge. If you're up for a challenge tonight. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, dropping our hand down to the right. And inhaling our left hand up. Really reaching through your top hand here towards the ceiling. engaging your core. Inhaling, coming up. Coming back to our kneeling position. Now we're going to move into tabletop. So I invite you to come to all fours here. So your wrists are under your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. Coming into a neutral tabletop here. And when you're in tabletop, if your gaze is like, your drishti is ahead, but not like, so you're cranking your neck, kind of like straight ahead, looking at the floor, kind of ahead of you here. And you're engaging your navel here. Nice, strong, active tabletop, maybe pushing through the tops of your feet. And on an inhale, we're gonna raise our forehead and tailbone to the ceiling. Coming into cow, letting the abdominal muscles go there. And then as you exhale, moving into cat. So your forehead, your tailbone are pointing towards the floor. Then you're engaging your navel again. Inhaling to cow. And exhaling to cat. Let's do that a few times on our own. Following your breath here. Feeling how your shoulders move throughout the pose here. Following your spine as it's arching and then curving. And then after your last cat, we will all meet in tabletop. And on your next exhale, we're going to flip our toes, lifting our bum to the sky, coming into our first downward dog of the night. If you want to pedal your knees, you can. Maybe you want to move side to side. Making sure your fingers are spread open. And your gaze is up at your navel. Pushing through your fingers, pushing your tailbone up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. And on your next exhale, we're going to bend our knees. And we're going to take a big step up, walking up towards the top of our mat. Exhaling, coming into our first forward fold. So bending enough so your hands can touch the ground, bending those knees, allowing your stomach to touch your knees. And then working to straighten your knees a little bit with your tummy touching your thighs. Inhaling, coming up halfway into Ardha Uttanasana. So allowing your shoulders to drop down your back here, your gaze forward. Exhaling back down, forward fold, which is Uttanasana. And then as we inhale, bring your hands all the way up to the ceiling in salute. Exhaling your hands down through Samastiti. And then bring your hands to your side, coming into Tadasana or mountain pose. We're going to take a moment here to ground through our feet or our Pada Bandhas. Coming back into our yoga breath here. Drawing in that navel, dropping our shoulders down our back, opening up our collarbone. Standing strong and tall. On an inhale, we'll bring our hands up to the ceiling into salute. Exhaling our hands all the way down into forward fold. Inhaling up halfway to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling back down. And as you're exhaling, you're going to take your right foot and step it back, making sure that your left knee is over top of your left ankle. Looking forward, you're going to drop your back knee. Now, if you find that you're a little bit wobbly here, you can always just open up your front foot, moving it out to widen your stance this way. All right. And if you're like me, you like to tuck your toes because it gives you some extra stability. That's cool. But why not try something new tonight and let your top of your foot touch the bottom of your mat. Touch your mat. Okay, on an inhale, we're actually going to come on up. Hands to your hips. Once again, if you're feeling wobbly, you can widen your stance by taking that foot and moving it out a little bit. If that feels okay, we're going to inhale, coming into cactus arms and pushing our elbows back. Continuing your yoga breath here. Inhaling your hands into a T. And as you exhale, you're going to twist to your left. And on your next inhale, taking your right hand, putting it down beside your front foot, and inhaling your left hand to the sky. Coming into a twist. And then we're going to exhale our left hand down. Inhaling our knee up. Exhaling our left foot back. Coming into plank. Drishti facing forward. And we're going to exhale down, all the way down to the ground. Inhaling up to baby cobra, lifting your chest and your tummy off the ground. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through tabletop and exhaling into downward dog. So once again, spreading those fingers, lifting that tailbone up towards the ceiling. One more breath. And on an exhale, bend our knees. Inhaling, big step forward, coming to the top of our mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back, forward fold. And this time we're going to take our left foot and step it back behind us. So now we're coming into a low lunge on the other side. Once you know that your knee is slightly over top of your right ankle, we're going to drop our back knee. Once again, letting the top of our foot push against the mat. And if you want, you can open up that front foot a little bit for stability. We're going to inhale our hands to our waist. And if that feels good, we're going to inhale our hands to cactus, pushing our elbows back. And we're going to inhale into a T. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to our right. On your next exhale, we're going to take our left hand, drop it down, inhaling our right hand up, coming into a twist. Your drishti can be straight ahead or looking up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. Exhaling our right hand down. We're going to inhale our knee up now, our back knee. Exhaling our front foot to meet our back. Holding for a breath here in plank. And then we're going to exhale all the way down. Inhaling into baby cobra. Exhaling down. Inhaling up through tabletop. And then we're going to exhale into downward dog. Now at any time, feel free to come into child's pose or tabletop. If you prefer not to do a downward dog, that's perfectly fine. This is your yoga class, and we're all here together holding space. Your drishti is up towards your navel here. And on an exhale, we're going to bend our knees. Inhaling big steps up towards front of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Really letting those shoulders drop down your back here. Let's hold our Uttanasana for one more breath. Exhaling back down, forward fold. Inhaling all the way up. Into salute. You can even do a mini back bend here. And then exhaling, hands down. Here's Samastiti to Tadasana. Awesome, guys. All right. So now we're in Tadasana. We're going to ground through our feet here. Find our yoga breath. And on an inhale, we're going to lift our knee and lift our arms, coming into one-legged Tadasana. Woo. On an exhale, we're going to step back. So not a huge step back. Your back toes are facing the front corner of your mat. We're going to come into pyramid here. So we're going to grab our elbows, inhaling, opening up our chest to the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward. Keeping an eye on our toe if that's okay, or our ankle if that feels a little better. And on our next exhale, we're going to drop our hands. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, folding forward. Now you might want to grab a block here. We're going to move into revolve triangle. So we're going to take our right hand and put it on the floor, or we're going to grab a block. And on the inhale, we're going to take our left hand and raise it towards the ceiling. Exhaling, hand down. Inhaling, stepping your back foot up to meet your front. Inhaling up halfway, really engaging your core here. And then inhaling up all the way. Awesome. Here we are back in Tadasana. We're going to raise our hands and our left foot now, coming into one-legged Tadasana. And on an exhale, we're going to step our left foot back. Woo. So your back foot, your toes are facing the top left-hand corner of your mat. We're going to grab our elbows now on the other side. So you'll know you're going to grab your elbows, but opposite. So it's going to feel a little weird to you. And then you know you're doing the other side. You're going to inhale, opening up your collarbone to the ceiling. And as you exhale, folding forward. Once again, eyes on your toe or on your ankle. And on an exhale, we'll release our hands down to the mat. If you have your block handy, you can actually get it ready here. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, folding forward a little bit more. And you're going to ground your left hand either into your block or into your mat here. Inhaling, lifting your right hand up towards the sky. Coming into a twist, a revolve triangle. New drishti up at the ceiling. Exhaling, bringing your right hand back down. Inhaling, stepping your back foot to meet your front. Exhaling down. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back down. And then inhaling all the way up. into salute. And as we exhale, we're going to keep our hands in prayer, bending our knees, coming into chair. So watching that your knees, or you can see your toes just peeking out at you from your knees there, your drishti straight ahead, engaging that core. Once again, allowing those shoulders to fall back. Exhaling our hands down to the floor, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down. Stepping back with our left foot here. Drishti forward, and as we exhale, taking our front foot to meet our back. Coming into our version of plank, feel free to drop your knees if you like. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling up through baby cobra. If you would like, you can push into your hands, coming up a little higher into full cobra. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through tabletop and exhaling to downward dog. Lifting that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Checking so you can't see your heels, looking at you behind your feet. Maybe dropping those heels a little bit further. And on an exhale, we'll bend our knees. Inhaling, big steps forward to the front of the mat. Exhaling down. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling, hands down again. This time we're going to take our right foot, step it back, wide back. So your back foot's turned about 45 degrees. Your left knee is over top of your left ankle, and we're going to come up, hands to our hips, double checking that our hips are facing the top right corner. And if this is feeling good for you, we're going to inhale our hands up into a warrior one. So we're in a wide-legged warrior one here. Letting those shoulders fall down your back. Feeling the balance of your weight between your 2 feet. Maybe drawing in that navel a bit. One more breath here. And on an inhale, we're going to straighten our leg. We're going to pivot our feet. And so our feet are going to be parallel to the front and the back of the mat. We're going to inhale our arms up. As we exhale, we're going to clasp our hands behind our back. Inhaling, opening our chest to the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to fold out the waist. And you're going to give your knees a little micro bend here to engage your leg muscles. Your drishti is looking behind you. As we let gravity push our hands down towards the ground. Continuing to breathe here. And on your next inhale, we're going to bring our hands to our hips, coming up halfway, engaging our core here, exhaling, and then inhaling all the way up. And as we exhale, now we're going to pivot to the back of the room. So our right toes are facing the back of the room. Our back toes, or our left foot, is facing the top left-hand corner of our mat. We're going to take our hands to our hips, and we're going to exhale, bending our right knee over top of our right ankle. You might have to lengthen your stance here like I always have to. Just ensuring that your knee is over top of your ankle there in the front. And then if you like, we can inhale our hands up. Coming into warrior one on the other side. Maybe dropping down a little lower. That feels okay for you today. Drawing that tummy in. Nice healthy core. And on an exhale, we're gonna drop our hands to either side of our foot. We're gonna pivot our back toes so that the toes are facing the back of the mat. We're gonna step our front foot back, coming into plank. And as we exhale, we're gonna lower all the way. On an inhale, we're gonna come on up. You pick this time if you want to do baby cobra or push into your hands and come up a little higher. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through your tabletop and exhaling to downward dog. Turning those elbow pits to face the back of your mat. Pushing through your fleshy part of your hand, upper fleshy part. Remembering to look up towards your upper thighs or your navel. And on an exhale, we're going to bend our knees. Inhaling big steps forward to the back of your mat this time. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back down. And this time we're going to keep our knees bent. We're going to inhale into prayer, coming into chair. Looking forward. And then inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, coming down to Tadasana. All right, good job, everybody. So we're going to move into our standing pose of this series, and it's dancer pose. So I invite you to stand about hip distance, or your feet are about hip distance apart. You're engaging that core. You're going to step back with your right foot just a little bit. And then on an inhale, you're going to raise your foot and catch it with your right hand. So you're pushing into your hand with your foot and kind of bending forward. And if that feels okay, I invite you to inhale, raise your left hand into the air. Going as far forward as you are comfortable with. Remembering to push back with your foot, reach to the front with your hand, woo. And on an exhale, we'll release. Okay, let's do it with the other foot now. So same thing, we're gonna step back. We're gonna grab our back foot with our left hand. We're gonna push. And if this is what you wanna do to work on this, that's fine. You don't have to raise your hand into the sky. So once you come to a point here and you'd like to raise your hand, raise your right hand to the sky, your palm facing towards you. Continuing to push back with your left foot. Nice strong core here. Grabbing that drishti. And it's okay if you push yourself a little bit too far and you fall out. That's all part of learning. Just continue to breathe. And on an exhale, we'll release. Good job, you guys. Inhaling your hands up to salute. Exhaling your hands back down to forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back down. We're going to step both feet back, so one foot and then the other, coming into a plank. Reminder, you can always drop your knees. Then we're going to exhale, lowering down. And then we're going to come into Sphinx here. So what you want to do is take your elbows and put them in place of where your hands just were underneath your shoulders. Palms facing down. And then on an inhale, we're going to open up our chest and raise our forehead towards the ceiling. So you can push the tops of your feet down into the mat, pushing your pubic bone into the mat, allowing your shoulders to drop down your back here. The gentle back bend. And then exhaling, releasing. We're going to put our hands back underneath our shoulders. We're going to inhale up through tabletop. And then we're going to exhale into child's pose. So you're resting your bum against your feet. Your thighs are opening up so your tummy can settle in between them. You can have your hands in front of you, pushing your fingers into the mat. Or you can put your hands alongside your legs, giving yourself a gentle hug. If you experience discomfort in child's pose and you need some more space, you can always take your block and just put it underneath your forehead here. Couple more breaths here. And on your next inhale, we're going to come on up. And I invite you to come into staff pose. So your feet are out in front of you. Toes are facing your forehead. You could be sitting on your block. And from here, I invite you to take your left foot and put it on the outside of your right knee. Coming into Marichasana, we're going to grab our left knee with our right hand here. Left hand goes behind you, inhaling, sitting up straight, engaging that navel. And on an exhale, we're going to turn to our left. Inhaling, we're going to face forward. And we're going to continue to breathe. We're going to take our left foot now and put it on the inside of our right leg. We're going to inhale our hands up. And as we exhale, we're going to reach forward along our right leg. So wherever your hands are, just ensure they're parallel with each other. Inhaling, looking up, and then exhaling, bending forward. If you like, you could also do this pose with a strap. So you'd have your strap around your foot where my hands are. Engaging your toes, pointing them towards your forehead. Now we're going to take our left hand and let go of our foot. We're going to turn our bodies so that our face is looking up to the ceiling. We're going to take our left hand now, reach over and grab our toe. You could also be here. No need to grab your foot. Anywhere along your foot or your leg. And you're turning your core up towards the ceiling. Here, I'll show you what it looks like on this side. Might be an easier visual. Breathing into the left-hand side of your body. On your next inhale, we're going to come on up. We're going to move back into staff pose here. We're going to take our right foot now, put it on the outside of our left knee, grabbing our right knee, inhaling, sitting up straight. Right hand's behind you, and on an exhale, twisting through the navel to the right. Inhaling, coming forward. We're going to take our right foot now, put it on the inside of our leg. I'll just get turned this way so you guys can see me a little better. We're going to inhale our hands up. Exhaling, reaching forward. maybe grabbing your shin here, or your ankle. Inhaling, looking up, and exhaling, folding forward. So we're going to let go now with the right hand. So what you can do to make it a little smoother is just let go, reach up towards your toes, and turn towards your right. If you're like this, it looks like that. Breathing into that right hand side of your body. And on an inhale, we'll come on up. And we'll find ourselves back in staff. Now I'm sideways. So we're going to bring our knees up now. We're going to move into boat. So we're going to push our body back a little bit. So we're slightly leaning back, and we're going to inhale our feet into the air. You can keep your knees bent here if you like. Hands can be on your knees or in the air. Engaging that core, ensuring that your back, your shoulders are straight. You can always play by touching your knees. One more breath here. And then we're going to exhale our feet to the ground. Laying down now. We're going to inhale our knees into our chest, giving ourselves a little hug here. Letting your shoulders fall down to the mat as you're hugging your knees to your chest. On an exhale, we'll release our knees, putting our feet on our mat, keeping our knees bent. We're going to do some figure four here. So we're going to take our left ankle, cross it on our right knee. We're going to inhale our right foot off the ground, grabbing our right thigh. And on an exhale, we're just going to pull our thigh in towards our chest. So you're going to want to work at keeping your shoulders on the mat as you're pulling your thigh towards your chest. If you find this is feeling a little too easy for you, you're going to want to pull your thigh a little bit closer in towards your chest. Staying present in the moment. And on an exhale, we'll release, putting both feet back on the mat, knees bent. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to cross our right foot now onto our left thigh. We're going to inhale, left foot comes up, grabbing our left thigh now. We're going to exhale, pulling our left thigh towards our chest. And this most likely feels different on each side. One side might be a little easier. You might find you're more flexible in one spot or another. Perfectly normal. Couple more breaths here. Exhale, we'll drop both feet to the mat, keeping our knees bent. So here you can put your arms out into a T or into cactus pose. We're going to inhale together, and as we exhale, we're going to drop our knees to the right as we turn our forehead to the left. Once again, taking that option to support your knees with either a blanket or a block if you like. Inhaling your knees up, forehead facing the ceiling. Exhaling, letting your knees drop to the left now, turning towards the right with your forehead. Inhaling your knees up, forehead facing the ceiling. And you can give your knees one last hug here. And then I invite you to come into Shavasana or corpse pose, allowing your feet to fall to either side. If you like, you could grab your bolster. If not, letting your breath go here. Allowing your tongue to drop away from the backs of your teeth. Letting your breath fall into that natural rhythm. No effort. invite you to just take notice of your breath. Bringing your body back, gently moving your toes and your fingers. If you're on a bolster, you can slide off if you haven't already done so. And then stretching your body as you need to, listening to what needs your attention right now. You might have your knees bent. You might be giving yourself another hug. And then we'll turn to our sides, resting our head on our arm. And whenever you're ready, I invite you to slowly raise yourself up to sitting. Namaste.